Hi there, Carl Massy here, coach, strategist, author of 6 books, and welcome to this month's episode of Tips, Tools and Strategies. Recording this up in the mountains of Bali, and it's looking like closing out soon, so I'm trying to get this recording in before it does. I've got a beanie on. It's a little bit cool up here in the mountains, but it's also because my hair's a mess. I'm coming up at the end of this month. I'm going to be doing a presentation on growth mindset to a company group. And so I thought I'd talk about the distinctions that Carol Dweck made, who wrote the book Mindset. She was a psychologist. Looking at the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset and how that influenced how you did or didn't show up in the world. The biggest thing about it was a person with a fixed mindset believes they either have something or haven't something, sort of like there's almost a genetic link to whether I'm not a dancer, as if there's some gene that caused someone to be a great dancer, or I'm not so smart, or I can't play these sort of sports, or I can't do this, or I'm not good with finances, or whatever it is. So this idea that there's sort of something that we either have or don't have, which makes us good, bad, or otherwise at a particular thing. On the other hand, there's this idea of a growth mindset. And the person with a growth mindset acknowledges the reality that if I want to get better at whatever it is, if it's finances, if it's sport, if it's academics, if it's public speaking, if it's recording things on videos or whatever, the person with a growth mindset realizes that the more they practice something, the better they get at it. They realize that if they want to get better at something, maybe they need to find a coach who can coach them how to do that specific thing. They realize that if they pay more attention to the component pieces of the thing they're trying to figure out and work out where their weakness is, and if they work on their weakness, it's likely to improve all the things there. They realize the more they persist with something, the more they're likely to achieve success in that particular area. They're not in this thing of thinking I'm either good or bad at things. So someone with a growth mindset is able to approach any topic, any task, any endeavor, and just lean into it and realize that I can figure this thing out because everything's figureoutable if I come into it with the right approach, if I maybe do some research to set myself up for it, maybe speak to people who have done it before, maybe bring a coach in who can coach me through this specific thing, maybe stepping back every now and again, doing an audit and looking at what's working, what's not working, and then, focusing resources on a particular area. That's a growth mindset, and that's the mindset that we want to have and we want to execute if we want to get ahead in life. So it's really interesting to note within ourselves whether we ever fall back into the idea and the story we tell ourselves of, no, I'm no good at that stuff, and take a deeper step back and look at that particular circumstance of thing that you think you can't do and see if you're just copping out with a fixed mindset and saying, I can't do it because, I'm, this age, or I'm, man or woman, or I'm, this level of intelligence, this level of IQ or whatever. Push all that aside and say, could I get better at this particular thing? Am I interested in, getting better? And if I am interested in getting better, what do I need to do? Do I need to read some books on finances? If I'm having relationship issues in a particular area, can I find some information on that? Can I go and seek professional advice on that particular thing? Is there some books I can read or whatever? So look in your life and see if there's an area that you've just, thrown out and said, I can't do this thing. Is there a better way to approach that so that you can actually get better at that particular thing? And can you put on the growth mindset approach to it where it is, anything that you focus your attention on and, you focus your attention on a very conscious way that you're going to get better at. So that's essentially the tip, tool, and strategy for this month. It's like the difference between a growth and fixed mindset. You want to have a growth mindset that's going to get you ahead in life, and look at any area of your life that you've pulled back on and see if you've just, said, I can't do that because of no good reason. And look at, is there a better way of doing this thing? If you look at it and approach it in a way of a growth mindset, is there a way that you can overcome this particular thing that you've just thrown your hands up in front of? Okay, that's it from me. I hope you take something away from that. If you've got any questions for me, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. Otherwise, have an absolutely fantastic day wherever you are on this gorgeous, incredible, beautiful planet of ours. All the very best, and take care.